The Life of Stace Storytime Part 12. In the previous videos, I've spoke about not being able to go and see my foster family anymore, and then my mum sadly losing my brother. So in this one, I'm going to touch on the fact that my foster dad still came to pick me up a couple of weeks later, when it, like, at a time and date that I was supposed to be going down next. Because I started going down fortnightly, so I think must have been like 2 weeks later. Obviously, I hadn't told them that I wasn't allowed to go down no more. I felt guilty and still feel a bit guilty for putting him in that position. However, I was only 11 years old. But I was upstairs in my bedroom and I heard shouting outside. I've looked out my bedroom window and my mum's partner was having a go at my foster dad and threatening him. My foster dad went back to his car and I literally just had to watch him drive off. I can only now imagine how he was feeling at that time. It's just so hard. I don't understand why he had that kind of control, and why that wasn't challenged through social services, because it was down that I was supposed to be having regular visits with them. So yeah, that happened. So then obviously I wasn't allowed to go down anymore to see them. Around that time also, the man from the park, he had got with another partner in the same area as where my mum still lived, just round the corner. He just casually just come in my mum's house, like just literally walked in and just kind of threw this massive bee teddy that he'd won in Blackpool. It was green and yellow. Obviously I was happy. I was like 11, you know, and everything had been taken away from me and whatnot, and then someone was walking in and throwing this massive teddy at me, and like the thought that he'd won it and he wanted to give it to me, you know, it did mean something. So that, I thought that was nice, because obviously he'd thought of me and whatnot. So yeah, and then he started taking me to meet his girlfriend. She worked in a pub on the estate, and I went in and literally straight away she was like, "Oh, Stace, like, come and sit with me. Do you want a drink? Do you want anything to eat?" And like, just because she bothered with me, like, I've got really attached to her, because it gave me a glimpse of what I used to have. You know, someone actually caring about me and wanting to talk to me. So I really liked her, and that was really nice. And then from then, I remember going into school, and obviously I'd not seen my foster parents for a while. And one of my friends who went to my primary school, she said, "Oh, I seen your foster sister the other day." I was like, "What? Where?" I was like, "Can you let her know that I really want to see her?" She said, "Yeah, I'll pass the message on." So anyway, next time I saw this girl that had told me this in PE, she said, "Right, your foster sister said to meet her in the bus station before school tomorrow, and she'll meet you there." So the next day I went to the bus station and I was walking through, and I waited like 10 minutes. I'm like, she's not coming. I was really sad about it. But the next minute I saw her and she was literally on her way to work. And she spent like 10-15 minutes in the bus station with me before she had to get on the bus to go to work. And she was just chatting with me, asking what I'd been up to and stuff, but I didn't really say much, because obviously I still knew how my mum's boyfriend was, and I'd only just seen him again, so I was just filled with emotion and really happy that she was taking time out to come and see me, which I genuinely appreciated. So yeah, that started becoming regular. So I started meeting up with my foster sister pretty much every morning then. So I'd constantly be late for school, but it was more important to see my sister, and I just clutched on having that time with her, because it'd all been taken away from me. So yeah, that's kind of where my story kind of goes. But yeah, that's the story life Stays on part 12, and part 13 will be next.